and so bring them over so they can comment. We will look at your comment as we go along. Welcome, guys. I always appreciate you coming here to join us. Never take your presence here for granted, because I know that it takes your time to come over here and talk with us. So Franklin is in the group. Maxine Smith. Franklin say, hey, Joan, how are you? Jackie Collins is there, and so on. So we'll read these comments as we go along. So ladies, as you are here, and you know, we are focusing on Women's Month, and we want to talk about leadership as it relates to women. So who want to go first? How do you see women in Jamaica in particular in leadership? What role do you think they can play in leading in the everyday business of Jamaica? Some of them lead already, but they're leading from behind. Now, what do you think should be their upfront role in leadership in Jamaica in all aspects of life? Joan, you might want to talk about that since you're going to leave earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to know. You would even tell the people if it happen as that
Lady, we are hearing you. So ask someone to take the child somewhere. Joan, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. So,
but I would prefer to listen a little bit. So this is my first time on your platform.
Okay. All right.
So I want to see what direction it's going before I really.
Okay. Miss Claudine, you want to talk about how do you think as ladies we should be showing up in the society? Recently we have seen a lot of ladies coming forth in politics. Yeah. And they're pretty young, and it's a good change to see young ladies are stepping up to serve. Do you think that more of us should be presenting ourselves for leadership at different levels of the society, that, you know, it would make things better?
Sure. I think that's in Jamaica. I think that has been going on pretty well for a long time now. Women in leadership positions,
right?
In education, in the government, and other businesses. Yes, I think women have been doing pretty well in that area in Jamaica.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
What about you, Ava? What do you think?
I've seen, more and more women in Jamaica comparing to like when I was small. I remember like even in politics, I really didn't see much women, being in politics, being around, I've just seen like all men. It was like a man world. And then all of a sudden you just see a lot of women, Lisa Hanna, of course, she's
right.
like, she's there, like, she's a beauty queen, but then now she in politics, I would like to see more of them be more like on the council level, like run for councilor and stuff like that. Not only, but I would like to see a little bit more, but I'm impressed because I was like, wow, it's just like normally, especially even the politics, it was more like a man thing. That's right. When I grew up, that's what, I would never thought of running for anything.
Right.
But now I'm like, I see all these women, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I would like to run for something too,
Yeah, it's pretty inspiring.
It is.
Minette, do you have anything to say about women in politics right now? Is it good? Can we do better? How do you see that? Hello? Are you there? Okay.
I'll jump in at this point. This is my first time, and what kind of audience are we reaching?
Pretty much international.
And the educational level.
Pretty good.
Okay. And people that you think would fit in the political era.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So based on that trend, it's the tides have turned.
Mm-hmm.
Women is carrying the banner right now,
Mm-hmm.
and the door is wide open for women. So any woman want to get into any ring at all,
Mm-hmm.
this is the time.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking over. There's no fear as to whether or not you will be elected for a position.
Mm-hmm.
Neither there's any fear about even applying for certain job,
Mm-hmm.
because the tide is turned, and when our momentum goes out, you jump on it, because this is the time that in that momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So you jump on that now,
Right.
before it changes again.
Right.
But anybody, yeah, you got to notice when the wind is shift.
Right.
And when the wind is shift, you go with the wind, you flow with the wind.
Yeah.
And right now the wind is shift universally. So any female who have the mind.
Yeah. So what Joan is saying is really true. I don't know if we lost her there, or her camera went out. Joan is still on? All right, let's continue. So of course, this is the best time for people who.
I'm
All right,
sorry,
Joan, come on.
somebody call and it kicks me right
Okay,
off.
go ahead, Joan.
All right, so the time is really right. Anybody who have any idea of doing anything, you will never know until you try. Put your name in that hat.
Mm-hmm.
Go forward with anything you have in your mind. This is the time.
Right.
The time is now. It's ready.
And people
Because
are more open.
there's a lot, and not only is it ready, you're now gonna set a new guideline for the next generation behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To give them the possibility.
Yeah.
And it's even as small as city council.
Mm-hmm. Well, with the person.
A small, try little things like city council. That's how you started with these little things. And what number one, get yourself into a diaspora. When you do, you'll get to meet more people.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to let your voice be heard in that sense. I met this woman that she has been a city council for many years.
Right.
As a matter of fact, she had just run for mayor, but she didn't make it as a mayor. And she said the only reason why she didn't make it, her opponent has a lot more money than she does, and she was able to flash that money in ads and all that stuff.
Right.
But this woman came from, this is in the United States now. She came from practically nothing. And just grow interest into politics and follow the things around in politics until before you know it, she was elected. But she did not make it high into the educational realm, but by personality and the good Lord, because personality will drive you to the top of the hill. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much education you have. And if you don't have the right personality, the right person, you're still not going to make it to where you want to. I always tell people, you want to make it, you invest in people. When you invest in people, then that's where your goal is. Because it doesn't matter what you're gonna do, people are the one that's gonna put you into any public service.
Right. It will come back to you.
Any public service, you're gonna be put there by people. I had three students from Montgomery College, which is not so far from me, that came and interviewed me. They're business students. And all three of them, I said the exact same thing. I told them, I said, your curriculum, the books you're studying will tell you something different from what I am telling you right now. And I said, you try to have people on your side. Your book will tell you how to make money, but what your book is not telling you, once you have people on your side, the money will come. You run after the money run away from you. But you invest into people, that's where your money is gonna come from, people.
True.
And I think I'm talking too long. All right, I turn on, make it to somebody else.
That's okay. Okay. So
all right, I'm not hearing you again, Ivadne.
Oh, I'm hearing you though. I'm hearing you. So
I'm not hearing you.
I'm hearing you. Let me see. Am I muted? No. No, I'm not muted.
Are you mute?
No.
I don't know why I'm not hearing you.
Everybody else hearing me?
Yeah.
So it's just you, Joan.
Yeah.
All right, maybe it will sort out by my keep talking. I think we can all agree that the time is right for people to move up into leadership roles. What about as in leadership of country or region or whatever, but into politics? What about at the church level? Are we seeing women assuming that role also in the churches?
Yeah, some churches I've seen more women that are in leadership position. Some churches really don't believe in women taking part in terms of like preaching or something, like on a Sunday. But during, like if they had like this service, that service during the week, then yes, they can take part. But yeah, more and more women though actually is preaching, but not so much.
Wow. What do you think, Joan? I think your church is pretty much okay with that. Women, do they become leaders?
Well, to be honest with you, I spent most of my time into UPC, and UPC does not believe in women preachers.
Oh.
But since I'm no longer going to UPC, I'm with a small Jamaican group, and it's the best thing I've ever done, because you get the platform for everything. So I've honestly, I don't know if I should say I wasted a lot of time into an assembly that wasn't doing anything for me.
Wow.
But even if you go to Bible college, you're only used for certain things, because they do not believe in women preachers, and that's UPC. So we and it's one advice I would give to anybody now. A lot of times we like to go to the big churches. I don't know if we think it makes us feel important, because we go to certain churches by name, and you say, okay, that's where I go to church. But what is it doing for you? If it's not building you, there's no sense of staying there. And I'm telling you that straight up. If it's not we're all Jamaicans, and hopefully, and we do know that from Jamaican platform develop every singer, every preacher, and not only that, stage-wise, because the little churches in Jamaica, they set the platform for these young people. And I've seen that with my cousin Shirley's son that make it to UWI. and he's now working for them. And when I watched him, when I watched him with the choir at university, and that platform he got from New Roads.
Right.
So these little churches build you to go out there and do massive things without fear. But if you just sit into any assemblies, anybody's assemblies, I don't care who it is. I don't care what denomination it is. If you sit in somebody's assembly and they don't, unless you're the one don't want to serve, but if you're in there, they don't think you're good enough to serve, find where you can serve, because that's where you're gonna build yourself vocally
and make the most contribution.
And of course, to society.
Okay, good. Good sound advice. Miss Claudine, what do you think about in your church? Are women allowed to preach or to have these leadership roles, like to be in charge of the church? You muted. Mute. Okay. No.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. That's
yes. In my church, we have it's like balance, half and half.
Okay.
We have 3 female pastors, and I think about 3 male pastors. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well.
So it's
they're open platform. That's great.
Yes. Yeah.
That's very good. The church I'm affiliated with, they still train pastors but don't employ them as pastors. I don't know what's up with that.
Just that's what UPC. Yeah, they train them but they don't use it.
It still exists, and for reasons like those, I don't participate in anything in church more than go there now and then and sit in the back.
Wow.
Why would you want to participate in an organization that discriminates against women?
Yeah, that's not right.
How Christian
that
is
should
that?
Be in the church.
You could do everything. You could pay money to the colleges and get a degree, and yet you can't be employed by the same church. So no, I'm not going to argue with anybody about their stuff, but I know what I'm going to go with and what I'm not going to go with. So yeah. Minette, are you able to speak? Can you unmute yourself and tell us what's going on in your church? All right. She don't get the technology thing yet.
Oh.
Okay. So clearly there's kind of an unbalance with the church situation. What about on the job? Are you guys feeling that within the workplace there's more balance with women being in leadership?
There's more balance in the workplace than in churches.
That's a good one. What do you think, Ava?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I work for the Army, and pretty much, there's no. First time it used to be a man's world at first. Like when I just started, it was like limited women in supervisory role or leadership roles, but then I guess tides had turned, and
it is.
And at first I felt like I didn't want to be a part. I was like, I just want to be in the back somewhere, because when I first started, I was like, I just want to be in the back, because that's how you feel. Because it's so male dominated. You just want to be in the back. And most of the time, most of the males before when I started, they really didn't want to listen to you either, because it's like they didn't regard what you say. But then, like I say, it started with like one woman, she got promoted, and then pretty much, everybody. So I find myself in that role, a little bit intimidated.
You're still supervisor, right?
Yeah, you still get intimidated, because it's like, but I guess you just gotta, I just get over it, I guess,
Okay.
But it is what it is. But one other thing I was gonna ask this question, like with the JDF in Jamaica, which is the military, do they have women in there?
Jamaica Defense Force.
Do they have women? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that
yes, women used to be there.
I don't think it's as
yes,
high
I do.
anywhere as close as a male. I don't think it's
okay.
like how you see the constabulary force women, you see them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see that.
But
Yeah,
when you think about it,
yeah, that's how I was thinking
remember
about
seeing
it.
a female soldier. We know they're there,
Yeah.
but can you remember seeing them?
Yeah, I never really seen one.
Right. Or is it that they don't apply? That could be one of the things.
Oh.
Because the
Yeah.
training is kind of more on the rough side. But girls now don't think about roughness the way we did when we were growing up.
Yeah.
They're more fit. They jump into anything and are able to adjust. So I don't know. Maybe we could find out, you know, if
See, another thing with the in Jamaica, the women are highly educated more than the men.
Mhm.
So even in the Jamaica Defense Force, you might find them more in the administrative part of the job
Yeah, okay.
maybe.
than the field.
Mhm.
'Cause that's one of the problems they're having right now in Jamaica. The
Mhm.
men won't step up
That's
in the educational realm.
You know, it's funny that you should say that, Joan, but based on what we have seen on this program here,
Oh yeah.
guys
The other way around.
are doing so awesome if you were to go back and watch like some of the things. But I'm sure
Yeah.
that's not the general thing all around. But
Right.
it's not as dismal as it might appear to be, because there are so many that are not doing that well. So it appears as if men in general are not doing that great. But I've seen some great young men that come on this program and speak.
I guess more the younger
I-
generation, the younger
No, I wouldn't say general. I would be wrong to say general because you still have KC boys doing their thing.
Mhm.
You know, you still have the colleges doing their thing.
younger.
But yeah, but
could be better.
it's still outnumbered.
be
The
better.
females still outnumber the male though,
Mhm.
and not in a high number.
Ava, when you were in college, did you see like a lot more females than males?
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of females and male. You know,
Still is, yeah.
yeah, there was a lot. You could see it was like probably every 10 there's like one male, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
could see it.
Because I'm usually too inside of a male dominated class because of IT, because I studied IT.
Right, yeah, like
Yeah.
physics or something like that.
Right. So those are male dominated subjects and engineering. So we have Carol Clara here, Shane CK, and hey Shane, she said Auntie Joan.
When I see the face. Oh, this is on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maxine, hi Shane. Maxine Smith is here. Lorna Burrows is here. Marcia Roberts, Timel Thomas, Ron Smith, Rocky Fellow, Rocky saying hi, Ava, Hyacinth Kuhun, Neville Spence, Simone Monty, that's Miss Claudine's
My
daughter.
daughter.
Hyacinth Kuhun,
Do you know who is Hyacinth?
yeah, Miss
Jean.
no,
Shirley White.
Hyacinth.
That's her name, Hyacinth Kahoon.
Oh, really? I thought that was Mass Bubble Hyacinth.
No, that's Shirley's wife.
Okay, I didn't know that. I always saw the name and thought it was the other Hyacinth.
She's on video or phone.
They're in the group watching. So
Okay.
they're commenting. Kayon Clayton, Vernica, and Kahane Essen. So guys, again, thank you for joining us. Just leave your comments here because the participant can go on later on and look at the comments and respond to you. So you ladies were all teachers, and the big part of what's going on, the breakdown in leadership and all that, sometimes you can catch it at the school level. How do you remember yourself helping to instill discipline when you were teachers? Because none of you are teaching right now. Was it bad? No, you can't discipline kids. What was it like when you were teaching?
Oh, goodness.
Well, back, are you talking about long time ago or?
Whenever you were teaching, you know, when you choose a period, maybe you can Maybe you could choose when you were teaching in Jamaica, because it's kind of, the dynamics is different from here.
Yes, I mean, the discipline part of it, you know, is, if I should compare, it was quite different from how you discipline over here in America. But at that time, it was not that bad, because you know, you were able to manage, control the students.
Right.
And then if you really have a problem, you know,
Go to the principal.
So
you felt like you were leading at that time. No, I kind of get the feeling that in the classroom, the teachers don't feel like they're leading, like they're in charge. Like they're just there to do a job kind of thing, because the kids are so much untouchable that you're afraid of leading.
Yes.
The teachers normally lead. Ava, what do you think?
It's, I guess you don't feel like you're, well, I don't feel like I was leading, because I guess I was like so young when I taught back, you know. My first, like I said, my first job was in Louisville, and I had just graduated from school. So it was like I used to do library science, because I had to teach them library science, though I worked in a library. So, I mean, I wasn't a trained teacher back then that was my first job. But I was so close in age, I didn't feel like I feel like it was more like peer, because I remember I kind of got scolded from an older teacher before, you know, and she was like, you have to let them treat you with respect. But I was just like, I mean, they treat me with respect when I'm in class. I mean, they treat me, but her thing of respect was that they call me by my first name. But she came in on the conversation. It wasn't like in class. In class, they call me Miss Gordon, you know. But it was like, we were so close in age. Like I was 19, they were like 18 or something like that. We're really close in age. So she walked in on the conversation, so she felt like I shouldn't be talking to them, you know. And like I said, it just, you know, it's kind of hard too, because even now, like comparing to Jamaica, comparing to teaching over here, it's totally different. Like they had more respect, I guess, in Jamaica, I guess because of how they were raised and stuff. But like when you come over here, it was totally different. It's like you can't talk to nobody, you can't even look at them too long. You know, so you get burned out really, you have no control. I feel like you don't have any control, because you have to really curb what you say, how you say it. People take it the wrong way, you know. So I don't feel like you're a leader. And I guess that's the reason why I stopped teaching, because I feel like I was just doing too much and I get burned out really quick. And I love it. I love teaching, but it was like, I would prefer to do it in Jamaica. But you know what happened too? I feel like Jamaica got Americanized too as well.
Yeah.
I feel I've talked to lots of teachers there, and it's like they kind of take up the same mentality as what's going on over here, and it's over there. So it's like even the teachers know they really can't even lead. Most of them can't even lead in the classroom when they're over there.
Okay. So the thing has spread. Joan, what did you say about that? Do you think?
Well, I made my decision very, very soon that I will never stand in front of these kids. Never. Because, you know, it's just because our culture is so different, completely different system we're dealing. So once you step into this system and you realize how the system is set up, unless you were born and raised, or not even born, but raised in the system, then you would understand how to deal with the system.
Right.
But coming from Jamaica and a whole different culture and everything, it would be hard to step out of one phase into another phase, because we are used to control our classes. With them, I think they let parents do the controlling, because the little things they call parents in for is the things we would have done in a classroom ourselves. So they don't do that. They put it back on the parents.
Right.
Well, Johnny was talking in class too many times today. Well, you're the teacher. Why didn't you control Johnny?
Right.
You know, that kind of a thing.
Right.
So
Right.
I always see this. That's how the system is set up, because they're afraid if they say the wrong word or the word that can twist into something else, and Johnny goes home. Johnny's gonna say, "Well, Mrs. Brown said yesterday that my eyes were blue or my eyes were brown, and I know my eyes is black." And then our whole problem got, all out of control.
Yeah.
So it's a different system completely. And and looking back in Jamaica as a teacher, I was always I love children dearly. I wouldn't see myself hurting them and under no circumstances. But looking back on some of my fellow teachers, the fear that they impose in these kids at a young age, and this especially at the elementary, or you call it a primary school level. When you drive so many fear into children at that young age, then it caused them to lock down, and that's why today they're not speaking.
Yeah.
Because they were not given the opportunity to voice their opinion. They were not given the opportunity to say what's in their mind. I read of a story, which is oops, I gotta get my phone is dying, so I have to go get my
run
card.
and get it and come back.
And anyway, so the teacher said to the young man, the young man drew a farm. How he would, with all his horses and everything, and how he would like his farm to be. And the teacher looked at the artwork and said, let's use the word Johnny. Johnny, this is lovely, but how are you gonna get there? I don't think you will ever make it to this level.
Right.
But her very words was what caused Johnny to reach to that level, because Johnny never forgot the word of the teacher. So and then when Johnny accomplished his big forms and everything on that form, like he had it on that paper while he was dreaming.
Yeah.
He invited the teacher to his form. So we just got to listen to them and not putting any fear on them.
Yeah. I totally see that. I remember, but it is some good and some bad that the way we used to approach teaching has changed, the way teachers manage classrooms. Because I remember I didn't go to school. I didn't go to kindergarten or basic school, as they call it, because I was sickly. So I didn't go to school until I was in grade 1. And my teachers in grade 1 and 2 were so rough. They used to beat us so much. I could never learn to read. I couldn't.
Right.
I was in fear the entire 2 years. It was always the strap and beating. And those straps were not small, or the fist or something. I never learned to read until I was with a teacher who was calm enough that I was comfortable around her, which is my 3rd grade teacher. That's Mrs. Steele. I thank her every day. That, she was a very calm, easygoing person. So you could really be yourself and relax around her.
Unlike, a great teacher, yeah.
Like the other 2 terrorizing teachers I had before.
Yeah.
So there is some good in the change in the practice of abuse. You could almost call it that, but we never saw it that way at that time. That we meted out to kids, as opposed to you know, what's going on today. But
well, I'm glad they changed that system. I
for that
understand.
reason, but on the other hand, you're also seeing teachers losing control of the classroom because they don't feel like they're in charge anymore, you know, and that is also bad because maybe they're not even giving as much as they could, because if you don't feel like you're in charge of your class, you know. I taught in Jamaica and I never felt that way. I never taught kids here. I taught adults, and I never felt that way with the adults either, because I see some of these big old gray hair people on the street even now, and they'll be like, Miss. You're like a rusty voice calling you Miss, you know, when the kids, you hear the kids say that, you know, you feel like, oh, it's one of our kids. But when you hear a big man calling you Miss on the street, it's still a good feeling. But so I never really got into that situation where you don't feel in control of your classroom at all. And I think that might be a really bad, sad feeling. So sometimes maybe the principals need to help to balance that out a bit. So yeah, but what about the homes then? Leadership in the home.
Always female.
How we manage it?
Do you have a choice?
A lot of the homes, there is no man. Some homes have man, but the woman is still managing. You know?
Yes, that's how it's set up. That's our system.
Yeah.
So do you think that to some extent the woman managing the home is contributing to these boys going the other way, just getting crazy and doing what they want because they can overrun mommy?
I don't know.
Not in all cases.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Ava.
I mean, I don't think so. Like, I mean, I have my son and I teach him, you know, like I teach him everything that I can teach him, be manners over, have respect, you know, and I never had a teacher call me to say he was disrespectful.
Right.
You know, because I, you know, look, you need to be respectful. This one is in charge. Like I have two sons, and I always tell them the teacher is the boss. That's how you know, the teacher is the boss, or whoever you work with, or, you know, if they're older than you, they're the boss.
Right.
You know? So, you know, like even now, like my daughter and my son have issues because my 9-year-old and my 4-year-old. So because I instill in them, because if they're older than you, they're the boss, right?
Right.
Now he's like, well, I'm the boss of you because you're 4. But it's good and it's bad. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think it has anything to do with, you know, I mean, you know, like maybe sometimes they don't instill. I guess it's the parenting and what you instill in your child. I guess.
Okay.
Right.
But again, you'll have some parents who really do instill good stuff in their children, and then when they go to school, they act up too. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just like the kid too, as well. It's not even.
What do you think, Miss Claudine? What do you think?
Yeah, I think mainly too it starts from home.
So you think that there is a problem because there isn't enough male influence?
That is a part of it too, you know.
So it could be not that the woman is not doing well enough, but you need more presence of the male.
Yes, and so just the environment from which the children are from, you know, that there are so many things that go together to you know,
break down the home.
Yeah. Joan, what do you think about that? You think the slide in the boys going downhill is because of the influence, the lack of male influence in the home, or are the ladies holding it?
Well, that has always been a problem in Jamaica, where the Jamaican men don't learn how to take care of their family. And don't forget, we're talking right now, we're talking at least 2 different classes of people. You know that within an educator's home, you don't have to ask how their children are going to behave in school.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a different class of people, the poorer class,
Mm-hmm.
who don't even give their kids books or pencils,
Mm-hmm.
and are they just go there, no lunch, no nothing. Those are the kids that really do give the most trouble in school, and it comes down to the level of poverty.
Can we
Where,
do you guys agree with that? Like,
Oh.
seen it the other way around, like the richer kids give more problem than
Yeah.
the poorer ones. It varies.
But I kind of understand where she's come from too.
I understand where she's coming from.
in the discipline world, I'm talking about because I've seen both. Let me make myself clear. In case you don't understand what I'm talking about, there are different classes of people in Jamaica. You all know that they don't have black and white, but they go by rich and poor. And some of the children, when I say poor, there are poor people out there with high class. You might not have money, but that does not say you're not filled with class.
Right.
That's completely different. You have a lot of doctors and you name it now that came from a poor home. But you still have you will know when the kid walk in school looking certain way, behaving certain way with no books, no pencils, no nothing. So you didn't come to learn.
Right.
And those are the ones that destroy classes.
When that come
those are the ones that
with the one book
prevent
roll
the
up.
people who come to learn.
They even have the one book.
The one book roll up in the back pocket type.
And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do have a lot of them.
And
they do whether they want to go to the mango walk and come in 2 hours later or whatever. They're the ones that are very disruptive to class. And the system does not set in a way like here. There's certain system that is set that they get sent home or whatever. So they just get to just travel along with everybody else.
Right. And learn nothing. Minette, are you able to speak yet? She's not muted, so how come she can't speak?
Okay, good night, everyone. I've been listening, but the phone it keeps going in and on and off because the internet, we had
Wi-Fi.
Rain earlier. Yes, the Wi-Fi goes down very regular. So I'm sorry that I wasn't participating all along, but I've been hearing a little bits and pieces.
Okay,
and
so you the time now where the internet goes. Please. just speak about
well, speaking about leadership role, I think Jamaican women now step up to the plate, and we're having many leaders like in education, in politics. The last general election, a lot of ladies had entered politics, and we're very happy about that. And in the church too, a lot of ladies have stepped up to the plate. We have a lot of leaders in the ladies leading in the churches now. As a matter of fact, in the churches nowadays, most of the persons who attend church are ladies, and most of them are leaders. We're wondering what happened to the men. And it's a generation now, presently, that it's just few men you find attending churches. I don't know what's going to happen. And in the home too, women are leaders. And based on what is happening around, some of us ladies, we really set the platform for our children. But society, as soon as they go to school, especially high school, then they go out there and they adopt things from the society. And then it would look as if they didn't learn anything from home. I can tell you that. And maybe that is why we're having such a broken down society now, especially with our males.
Yeah. So do you have any
It's
suggestions that we can change that Minette? I kind of don't want you to cut out before you say your piece. Do you have any suggestion that you could make, or you prefer we come back to you?
Well, I prefer you come back.
All right.
I prefer you come back to me.
Joan,
yes.
Thank you, Minette. Thank you for that contribution. Obviously, you were taking notes, so you could go back over all the main points. That's good. And ladies and gentlemen on the internet and on Facebook who didn't know who that was, that's Minette Smith, but she's having some technical difficulties, so she wasn't able to show her video. Audrey Williams was supposed to be on too. She is also having technical difficulties with joining. So we'll probably have her back here next week, Thursday, because we're going to continue this conversation. Miss Joan, do you have any kind of solution to any of these things that I know you said in the church, one thing, don't go to a church where you're not getting your satisfaction or you cannot grow. So that's one solution for us.
Those days are over.
Yeah, and you had pretty much said about the politics that, if now is the time, if people want to that move, they can go. So what about the parenting and the classroom is probably what you should be mentioning now at this stage. Come back to you.
Time. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Malik.
The classroom, to me, the classroom is becoming sort of unbearable now because teachers are burning out because for the system has changed, especially since the ministry has removed corporal punishment. I want to tell you that it's really hard controlling our children because I think from slavery days, or the Bible said, don't save the rod and spoil the child. And the children are accustomed to getting some spanking when they are rude at home. Now, when they go to school, they are rude just the same. And if a teacher should, then the teacher will get into trouble. Actually, children would stand up before a teacher and would say to a teacher, you can't lick me. We know that you can't lick me. Hear the Ministry of Education say enough to lick me. So the child would be disrespectful and the child would behave in a manner unacceptable. And teachers are finding it really hard. And when you go home, say the teachers can't hit the child at school, but when the child goes home, the parents will. So to me, that is a two-way thing. And the child may be conform at home, but as soon as the child comes to school, it's different. And it is really hard because when a teacher is to start a class, for example, the teacher has to spend so much time to set some ground rule before actually starting the lesson. So a lot of the teacher's time is taken up there. And when you actually get into the lesson, then you have children, they're just popping up, doing different things, disturbing the class so some would learn, some who wants to learn, they'd always be distracted. So it's really hard nowadays to be in a classroom. It's really, really hard, I'm telling you.
Right.
But they've given some little things that teacher. Yes.
Minette.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
See, the thing is that everything America does, Jamaica follows suit. But
right.
I don't like corporal punishment. I really don't like it. I really don't like because you see, you have teachers who doesn't control themselves,
Take it to
and that's why it should be taken out of school long time.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
personally have to.
Joan, can you hold that point a little? Ava has to run off to pick up her daughter. Ava, and you want to say anything before you run off?
Yeah, I was, with the same corporal punishment, I do agree that it should have been, out of school a long time ago, because like I said, I don't like math. And it was for that reason, very reason. Like I remember I genuinely didn't understand it. And that teacher whooped me like, and then my ankle actually swelled up. No, my ankle actually swelled up. Like she beat me at that board trying to figure out that math.
Oh boy.
And it was with a switch, and my ankle swelled up walking home. Went home, telling my mom and stuff like that. But I mean, you see what I'm saying? But I don't feel like it should have been to that level where they just hit you to that point where like they,
Or okay, so join us on your phone when you head out.
I will.
All right. So Joan, you continue. You were talking about thank you, Ava. Thank you so much. About corporal punishment, that you think it should have been.
Yeah, that should have never been in the school system from day one.
Right.
But Jamaica has to set up a system of control. So the kids are used to being spanked if they think they're not just rude, you don't even know your lesson.
Yeah.
And
it's a little bit slow in learning what is
right. And a lot of times teachers' teaching style is different. So if you find out that your class cannot learn, go change your teaching style. Change the way you did to make your classroom become interesting. So it's not about, once you start making your class interesting, you will have the attention of the kids. If your kids are out of place, out of order, your teaching style needs to fix for it to become a classroom of interest.
Yeah.
Where they want to be there, they want to hear what you have to say. The little things that you do, and you reverse psychology. Tammy's a bad boy. Give Tammy something that's gonna interest him and get his attention, rather than constantly say bad boy, bad boy. My son, when he was going to school, he's very lively. Until now, he's a lively boy. And they want to know, the teachers always want to know, why is he always smiling or making music with his mouth or something, but he was always like that. So what the teacher did is to start give him responsibility that makes him feel important. So you have a bad child, you can turn the situation around and let him feel like he's important to the class. Johnny, I want you to collect the books today. Johnny doesn't even know A from B, but you're doing a reverse psychology. You start to make Johnny not so bored that he gets so bad. But a lot of times as human beings and as adults, we kind of stereotype the children just like we would do in adult life. And because you don't know that Johnny is gonna give trouble. So before that Johnny even walk in the class, you don't lock down your mind that you're not gonna deal with Johnny today.
Right.
But if you turn that around and let Johnny feel like he's on top of the class, you watch and see how Johnny start to read.
Right.
Because they start to show interest in him. And a lot of times that's all they're looking for. They don't get it at home. So when they go to school, they're looking for that attention. I remember one teacher told me that if I want Daniel to do anything he wants, that I want him to do, all I have to do when I'm passing him, I pat him on the back. And that teacher found out that Daniel apparently likes some attention.
Likes the attention.
Yes.
So she will just pass and tap him on the back. And boy, Daniel will do anything.
And that's kind of an approval too, you know, like.
That's
Yes.
exactly what it
Okay.
is. You
Yeah.
don't even have to say anything. Just pat it on the back.
Yes.
So there's a lot of skill that we have to develop dealing with children.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I remember saying on this program one night that the way we alienate the young people in the areas now because we're afraid of them, literally.
Exactly.
In Jamaica, so you don't have that eye-to-eye contact. You're not pulling them to sit down and talk to you. You're not touching them, most importantly, because you are so afraid. We need to get back to that stage where you can walk up to a young man and touch him on his shoulder and say, hey, you know, my boy, you're looking good, or, you know, you did
something.
how school, how your mother, how whatever. If you can't have those relationships with those kids, then we're fighting a losing battle. And right now, I don't see that happening. You know, it's them over that side of the street and you over this side.
Oh, yeah.
You're not business with those young people because they're full of the devil. So, you know, we have to bridge the gap somewhere, because I feel that these young people are feeling like they didn't get loved.
Yeah.
They don't know how to behave. They don't know how to react to love.
Yeah.
Do you know that these young people, when they're dating girls now, is just text message on the phone, that they're not interested in meeting unless it's something to do with sex. It's just text. They don't talk. They only text. That's how disconnected they are. And I'm talking not just about kids, but adults.
And when they married a woman, there's no communication because they didn't develop the communication skill.
Men don't want to talk to you if you're not just sending them pictures of everything you're doing and texting. They don't want to have no conversation with you outside of that. That's what courtship has moved to now. We've lost a whole, maybe 2 generations of young people. I don't know how we're gonna bring that back and bridge this gap, but I think we need to start with being more personable with the young people. Touch them, talk to them, look at them,
exactly.
Look them in the face when you're talking to them.
Yeah.
Because if they come out of any home with any decency, they're not gonna come right up in your face and be rude to you like that. They're not gonna do
it.
Yeah, they'll do it from afar, but they're not gonna come up in your face and do it. Because those
I want to think that's excuse me, I want to think that some of these children, though, when they come to school, and some of them may come to school angry because of the situation, the family situation. Maybe mom's tired, mom is a breadwinner, and so mom doesn't have the time to spend with the child or children. So when they come to you, for instance, in the morning, maybe mom may tell them off. So when they come to school, they come angry. And so to deal with their peers, they're angry. So they're, and then teacher might try to quell the aggression and all of that. And some children will tell you, Mama did curse me this morning, or Mama did beat me this morning. So when they come to school, they come angry. And we have to try to show them more love, regardless of the situations at home. But sometimes it's really, really hard for a single parent because, you know, it's rough. She has to go there to do something to make a living. And she might leave a bigger sibling at home to run errands and to take care. And so those things hand down. And I think that's where some of the things, and there's a broken down between home and school. And so children grow angry because of love from the parents or from their caregiver. So they just grow up angry and things like that.
But how can we curtail the anger though? How I was speaking to a gentleman this evening that told me that he's willing to come to work with us to do like mediation and that kind of thing. But we also need a lot of anger management. I think that's sadly lacking because the young people don't have an outlet. They don't play physical sports or anything like that anymore. So they don't have anywhere to
Right.
push that anger to. They don't run and
And
jump
that's
and
right.
play and hit up into each other
Mhm.
without a fight. So they're not, it's like they're not equipped that way.
Yeah, that is so true.
We used
That's
to
true.
do contact sports and run around and whatever. So you know, if somebody bounces into you, even though you will cuss them off or something, you're not going to pull a knife or something like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But now these kids don't know how to. They see on the TV every day bloodshed. Every day somebody 10 people murder, and they become
Yes,
so numb to it that they don't even
that's
think of
right.
it as anything out of the
Right.
ordinary anymore. So as soon as they have a problem that they cannot handle,
They kill.
killing
They
is the
will say,
first
I'm
thing
going
that
to
comes
kill
to
you.
their
Kill
mind.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the first one. Yeah, that's the first thing.
Well,
That is so true.
how can we sidetrack that? How can we shift their focus from that kind of mindset? Because it's a society thing now. It's not just us
Yes,
community, it's a society thing. Do you see
it's
when
a
stuff
society.
happen now and there is a gruesome murder or anything happening, people don't try to call the police or ball out for help or go part them, get in between, because we used to, when people are fighting, we used to run in it and try to pull them apart. Now
Mhm.
everybody grab their phone to see who could get the best shot and the
Mhm.
video.
Yeah.
How we
That's so
gonna
true.
desensitize the society about when it comes on to these, how we deal with domestic violence and the ugliness
I
of
think
killing and death and all of that. How do we do that?
I think it starts with love. I think it starts with love because if children grow up to be loving and to be kind, they learn those basic values to be respectful, to have harmony. Then I think they would be better off. Say for instance, some children may be playing and then one bounces another one.
Mhm.
The one who gets the bounce is quick to fight back, you know. They
Yeah.
will just turn around and hit that one. And then when you call them up and you try to mediate between them, that one will tell you, it's that one did step on me. Then the other one would say, I was playing and I didn't see him. And then, they don't learn, they don't add this anger management thing. And that's what I was really responsible in teaching anger management.
Yeah.
And I think parents need to learn that, to teach the children that at home too, so that when they get out there with their peers, they will know how to manage.
But are
If
are
somebody
the
steps on
parents,
your toe accidentally,
yeah,
somebody steps on your toe and accidentally, you don't turn around and hit the person. Even in a quick move flash of a moment, there's a fight. And those are some of the things that teachers have to be contending with at school, to be honest to you. Children are angry, that's as I'm saying,
okay, Mrs. Smith,
just because the
but
time is
how
hard.
are the parents equipped to do that, to train them?
No,
Miss
they're not.
Miss Joan, you look like you want to sleep. What do you think? She look
No,
like
I'm just listening and thinking.
are the parents
No, because the whole point is you cannot train the children at school and they go right back to the same situation at home. So and most of
That's
these
what is happening.
parents are not attending teachers parents conference, or I don't know if they do one-on-one in Jamaica, parent one parent teacher. Do they do that in Jamaica?
I don't
Or
know.
they just do the group?
Yes. Well, parents, to be very honest to you, parents are now stepping up to the plate. They have been attending PTA meetings and conferences one-on-one with teachers, because they have now learned the importance, because they see how far education can take their children. So really that has changed.
That's great.
They are coming on stream now, yes, and it is very good. Yes, madam, they are doing it nowadays.
Well, that's
But
good to hear.
first time never used to be. but it has
Right.
changed now.
But we still need to do more
Yes.
training of the parents. I think we're focusing on the kids, but remember a lot of what
Yeah.
the kids do
Right.
and
Oh,
learn, it begins at home. The charity
Mm.
begins at home. So if the parent is not equipped because their
Oh, yeah.
parent didn't equip them properly, then they can't teach what they
That's
don't
right.
know.
if they put their kids in some kind of a Sunday school, from some kind of a church, to give them that moral
Boost.
thing, that's what they need. But
True.
if they're not doing that, then what do they have? If they're not taking their children to church where they can learn some moral values, there's nothing you can do. If all they know is the dance hall and the Harley Harvey's way of life, there's nothing teacher can do.
Mm.
A teacher have other kids to deal with.
Yeah, a whole
So,
classroom
Yeah.
with some
Well,
trouble or the other,
that's
different levels. Yeah. Well, ladies, we're heading almost 9:30. We're
yeah,
time,
my,
so
pe- my
let
people
me
are.
let you go. So each person can say their own piece to wrap up. Joan, you could go ahead, and then you could we could do Miss Claudine and Minette, then Ava is there.
Well, as I asked the question in the beginning, who is your audience? Or you just don't want to spend time and talking, and it's not getting where Minette is already out of the classroom. We are not even in the country. So if we could get this, get it more on the community level and reaching more parents, if you could find some parents to come and get ideas that they can take back to the classroom
Right.
or to their own children. Sometimes there are things the parents don't know themselves. So can I show you something, please? I'm on Zoom.
Yeah, that's true. So Joan is at her business. So yeah, sounds to me like Joan is suggesting that we do more collaboration with parents in the area to make sure the word goes to them.
Yeah, from
Training
the
the
parent standpoint, invite more parents and hear their view, their standpoint of how they can help their own children to make it in the school system.
Right. And what kind
And
of help,
are they aware of their
they need
children?
to do? What kind of help these parents need? What kind of training? What kind of advice they need? Because it's a new breed of young people we're dealing with. They're not as passive as we were when we were.
That's why you need to hear it from the parent standpoint. Let them speak.
Maybe you could do like a question, and like they could put in their question and we can answer it, because some of them, like I said, don't have internet and stuff, so it's kind of hard for them to like join in live. I mean, who can join then? Yeah, but if they can, then they can just ask some questions and then we can answer it, hopefully.
Right. It's a pity Audrey didn't join because she's currently in the classroom. Yes, Ava, did you have anything more to add to that?
Yeah, like I said, just probably like a question, they can ask various questions. We can probably give them some suggestion on how to, deal with their children, and not only the parents too, some teachers too in Jamaica, lacking certain training in certain areas and stuff like that on how to deal with a child with behavioral issues too as well, so they can ask all the question, activities that they can do. And like you said, we are all past teachers, we probably can give them some suggestion on how to even deal with children in the classroom. And also the parents too, we can help them at that level, because we really do need to help some of the parents, because like some of the parents are very, very young. They really don't really know or understand, how to parent, because they're a kid themselves. So, I guess this would play a good role in, probably giving some parenting stuff like what you think that they should know. Yeah.
Okay. I think Minette would be good at helping out to navigate some of those things since she was a guidance counselor.
Right.
Miss Claudine, what last word do you have to say?
Oh, I think, you know, we can get the information from the community and, you know, find out where some of the needs are.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, in the schools, in the community, and see what ways that we can help.
Right.
You know, by giving advice or
Finding training.
making suggestions and helping whatever way we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
And set up training and workshops if that's what's
Yes.
Minette?
That's necessary.
Minette?
Yes, yes, I think we could set up some workshop.
Can I just put in? I gotta go.
Workshop at the school.
Okay, just 1 second.
At the church.
All right, Joan.
From the church level,
right.
from the
Okay.
level.
We'll be back next week. So
And
you can join again.
see how best we can help.
We'll be back next week this time, so you can join us
Yes,
again
we can help.
if you have the
That's
time.
when I took my Bible study night.
If you have the time, but we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Great.
Okay.
Yes, Miss Minette, continue, please. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, are you hearing me? Because
Yes.
the phone is ringing. Somebody's on the phone.
Go
Are you
ahead.
hearing me?
Yes.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yes, I'm saying that we could probably set up some meetings or so on the by way of the internet and so from the church level or from the school level.
Okay.
And see how best that we can help some of these young parents, because I think as the young parents, they really need some real good parenting skills so that they can help their children.
Okay, that sounds good.
So those are some of the things I think that we could do.
Right. And
from this level, from this angle.
The phone to join Zoom and whatever. If you have a group gather, well, we can't gather in groups at church now, but when we can.
That's right. Yes, and COVID. Yes, well, COVID is one of the setback. Would be one of the setback right now.
Yeah, but they're allowing 10, group of 10. So we could still do a group of 10 at church, and you could do some training. That's an excellent idea. And similarly, like you said, they could be done from the school level as well. What do you think, Ava? You're muted.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. You know, a lot of people do go to church, so that's a good avenue too as well to get some of the word out.
Okay, Miss Claudine, you have the last word.
Yes, I agree with what she said, and also, you know, get in contact with the schools in the area, you know, and find out, you know, some of their needs,
right,
and see how best we can address some of those needs.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so very much for being with us. Thanks to all the panelists who are here. I'm sorry that Audrey didn't get a chance to join, but she can come back next week. So let's give yourself a pat on the shoulder. You know, that you stood with us this whole time with this discussion. I hope it did not bore you, because it's important for the community.
Yeah,
and as we try to pull things together to build a better community, we have to sit down and do dialogues. We have to talk about the problems if we hope to fix them and to move on. And so it's not just going to be people coming here to tell their story in an interview, but we have to do some talking like this at this level to see what the community really needs, what the problems are, so that we can provide the training or the opportunities that are needed. So thank you so much for your time. Just remember to share and also to leave comments for the panelists who have taken their time to come and talk to us tonight. It's all month for Women's Month, so we'll try to do some more activities for the month as we go along. And guys, please don't feel left out. We will try to find a month for the males too. We'll make one, right? Yes, we would like to hear your side of the story too. It's just that this month they're focusing on women, so we're gonna go with that, but we will cater to the men as well. All right, thank you very much for joining, and that's all from me here. Again, my name is Evadne, and
Bye.
pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Anytime. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.